Welcome back to the Quarterly Call. All content is for informational purposes and is not investment advice. Please consult with an investment professional.
It feels like the tech landscape, especially AI, is just moving incredibly fast, almost dizzying trying to keep up.
It really is. The speed of innovation, particularly in AI, it's quite something, and it's, touching everything businesses, our daily lives.
Absolutely, which is exactly why we wanted to sort of dig into everything from Google Cloud Next 2025.
Yeah.
Try and pull out the really key stuff. They're calling it a new way to cloud. Sounds pretty big. So what's that actually mean? What were the foundational pieces?
Well, a huge part is just the sheer investment in infrastructure, the underlying power for all this AI. Google Cloud talked about a planned $75 billion CapEx just for 2025. Servers, data centers.
75 billion. Wow. Okay, that's serious money. It really tells you the scale needed here.
Exactly. It's not just tweaking things. It's a massive commitment to building out that core computational power for what's next in AI. But it wasn't only about, bigger data centers, was it? They mentioned making the network smarter, too.
Right, precisely. They introduced something called Cloud Wide Area Network, Cloud WAN. The idea is to optimize how data travels across their global network. And the claims are pretty bold. Over 40% faster performance, potentially cutting costs by up to 40% as well.
Faster and cheaper. That's the dream combo, isn't it?
Pretty much. And they mentioned early adopters like Citadel Securities and Nestle are already using it, seeing benefits, so it seems tangible.
Okay, interesting. Now, something I always find fascinating is their custom silicon, the TPU's tensor processing units. What's new there?
Yeah, the TPU evolution is pretty remarkable. They previewed the seventh generation, codenamed Ironwood.
Right.
And get this, they're saying it's 3,600 times more performant than the first TPU they made public.
Whoa, 3,600 times. That's hard to even picture. That kind of leap unlocks totally new possibilities, I guess.
Absolutely. Think about training times for these huge models. What took weeks might, potentially take hours. It really changes the game for development.
And it's not just speed, right? Energy use is a big factor, too,
Definitely. They highlighted that too. Ironwood is apparently 29 times more energy efficient than that original TPU.
which is critical. I mean, for costs, obviously, but also just the environmental footprint of all this AI compute.
Exactly. Efficiency is becoming maybe just as important as raw power.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
And shifting gears slightly, quantum computing. Any updates there? Felt a bit more future gazing.
A little, yeah, but still important progress. They talked about their Willow chip and, crucially, a breakthrough in quantum error correction.
Error correction. So, making the quantum calculations more reliable.
Basically, yes, quantum systems are inherently noisy, prone to errors. Making them stable is, well, fundamental to actually building useful quantum computers down the line. It's a big hurdle they're chipping away at.
Right. Still feels like early innings for practical quantum, but those foundational steps are key. Okay, so let's get to the AI models themselves. The Gemini family seems to be front and center. Lots of updates there.
Oh, yeah. Gemini is clearly core to their strategy. They mentioned Gemini 2.0 focusing on multimodality. So it understands and generates not just text, but images, audio, much richer interaction, and better tool use, making it work better with other software.
Right. And then the big one seemed to be Gemini 2.5. That got a lot of attention. What's the deal there?
Gemini 2.5 Pro, they're calling it a thinking model, which sounds ambitious. The idea is it has better reasoning capabilities. It sort of plans or thinks through a problem before spitting out an answer.
Okay, thinking model. That's quite a claim.
It is. And they're backing it up, saying it's their most capable model yet. It apparently topped the Chatbot Arena leaderboard, did really well on tough benchmarks like Humanity's Last Exam.
Humanity's Last Exam. Sounds intense.
It's designed to push the limits of knowledge and reasoning, so performing well there is significant.
And people can actually use this 2.5 Pro now.
That's right. It's available in AI Studio, Vertex AI, which is their main AI platform, and the Gemini app. They also announced Gemini 2.5 Flash. Think of it as a faster, cheaper version that still has that advanced reasoning built in. That's coming soon to the same places.
So different flavors of Gemini for different needs?
Yeah.
Makes sense. It
Yeah.
wasn't just Gemini, though, right? Other models got upgrades, too?
Correct. They touched on Imagen 3 for text-to-image. Really impressive results there. Chirp 3 for custom voices sounding much more natural. Lyria for text-to-music, which is now in Google Cloud. And Veo 2 for video generation. So a pretty broad portfolio across different creative AI types.
Quite the arsenal of models.
Mm-hmm.
And the reach is just huge, isn't it? How widely are these being used?
Yeah, they made a point of saying that all 15 of their products with over 500 million users are now powered by Gemini models. And that includes 7 products with over 2 billion users. So, these aren't niche things. They're powering experiences for billions daily.
That scale is just mind-boggling. Okay, so we've got the infrastructure, the powerful models, but how does this translate into, like, real-world value for businesses? The customer stories must be key here.
Exactly. And they spent a good chunk of time on that, showcasing how companies are actually using this stuff. Like McDonald's, for instance. They're using edge computing in restaurants, an AI assistant for shift leaders, predictive maintenance alerts for equipment, and Gemini on Vertex AI as a central info hub for like over 2 million team members.
Wow, that's a lot going on at McDonald's. Pretty comprehensive use of AI.
Definitely. And there were tons of others. Intuit TurboTax using Document AI, part of Vertex AI to understand tax docs better, autofill information.
Oh yeah, simplifying tax prep, that's a big one.
Huge. Nokia building coding tools with Vertex AI, Wayfair speeding up how they update product details in their massive catalogs.
So really diverse applications, customer experience, internal tools.
All over the place. AES, the energy company, said they cut audit costs and time significantly. Commerzbank using AI to summarize investment calls.
That could save a lot of time.
For sure. Seattle Children's Hospital making clinical guidelines searchable. United Wholesale Mortgage boosting underwriter productivity. Honeywell integrating Gemini into product development.
It really seems like it's penetrating almost every industry, not just tech.
That's the key takeaway, I think. Deutsche Bank building their own AI research platform, DB Lumina, on top of Gemini and Vertex AI. Even just Google Workspace getting Gemini features, companies like Rivian, Freshfields, using it for drafting docs, research.
Right, embedding it into everyday tools.
Yeah. Kraft Heinz making marketing campaigns faster. Agoda creating unique travel visuals, Bending Spoons enhancing photos, L'Oreal generating video shots.
Content creation is getting a massive boost.
Definitely. And then there's search and discovery. Reddit using Vertex AI search for Reddit answers, grounding AI responses in actual Reddit conversations.
That's clever. Using the community knowledge.
Yeah. Lowe's using it for product discovery, Globo for content recommendations, Mercado Libre using multimodal search.
Okay, so making things easier to find, more relevant. What about direct customer interaction service?
Yeah, big focus there too. Google Cloud's customer engagement suite, DBS Bank, Love Holidays improving service. YouTube apparently cut call abandonment rates using conversational AI, Verizon personalizing experiences, and even more direct stuff. Wendy's AI drive-thru, Mercedes putting conversational AI in cars for search, navigation, Home Depot's Magic Apron for DIY help.
The AI drive-thru. Brave new world, eh?
Maybe. But it shows the breadth, even product development itself, like Mattel analyzing customer feedback with Gemini.
Right. And data analysis, that must be huge too.
Massive. Spotify, Unilever using BigQuery for huge datasets personalization. Bayer building an agent to predict flu trends with BigQuery. Neuro using AlloyDB for autonomous driving data.
Even public sector.
Yeah, the state of Nevada using agents to speed up benefit claims processing. Then you have coding Gemini Code Assist used by Ampere, PayPal, Broadcom, and security, of course.
Oh.
Charles Schwab, Vodafone, Singapore government using their security tools.
It's almost overwhelming, the number of examples. It really feels like AI is becoming this, like, foundational layer everywhere. Now, a term that came up a lot was AI agents. What exactly are they and why the big push?
Right, AI agents. Think of them as the next step beyond just models. They're designed with more capability reasoning, planning, memory, using tools, so they can handle more complex, multi-step tasks autonomously, like intelligent assistants working alongside people.
So not just answering questions, but actually doing things.
Exactly. Taking actions, coordinating tasks, and Google's trying to make them easier to build and use. They announced an agent development kit, an open source framework for building these sometimes complex multi-agent systems, and crucially, Google Agent Space, which sounds like a platform for employees inside a company to find, use, and even create their own agent.
Agent Space, like an internal app store for AI agents.
Sort of, yeah. Access company-approved agents, Google's own, maybe third-party ones like Llama or Claude too, but also letting employees build personal agents, connect them to company data OneDrive, Salesforce, whatever, and automate tasks.
Like what kind of tasks?
They gave an example: portfolio analysis, monitoring cash flow, integrating with Google Search, even using research agents.
Okay, that sounds pretty powerful.
Yeah.
Can you walk through an example?
Yeah, they used a bank relationship manager. The idea is an agent in agent space could automatically analyze a client's portfolio, research industry trends affecting them, maybe forecast cash flow,
Uh,
and then even draft a summary email for the manager to review and send, all happening sort of automatically in the background.
right, freeing up the human for the actual client relationship part.
Exactly. And they said Agent Space will integrate into the Chrome browser too, making it more accessible.
Are there pre-built agents available too? Or just the platform?
No, they have some Google-built ones ready. Notebook LM for research and notes, an idea generation agent, and that enterprise deep research agent they demoed. And they mentioned customers like KPMG, Wells Fargo are already starting to use Agent Space.
Okay, so definitely something getting traction. They also broke these agents down into categories, right?
Yeah, 5 main types: customer agents, creative agents, data agents, coding agents, and security agents. Customer agents are about enhancing interactions using things like Vertex AI Search, the Customer Engagement Suite. We saw examples from retail, healthcare, YouTube,
Right,
Wendy's.
the examples we touched on earlier, and creative agents.
All about content generation, marketing, like the Sphere Wizard of Oz thing using VO2, agencies like WPP using generative models, the partnership with Adobe integrating Imagen and VO into their tools.
Making those creative tools more powerful, more accessible. Got it. Data agents.
Focused on managing and analyzing data, obviously, using BigQuery and Gemini to help data engineers, scientists, analysts. We heard about Mattel, Spotify, Bayer, State of Nevada.
Okay. And coding agents, beyond just code completion.
Yeah, Gemini Code Assist is the base, but they announced new agents for things like code modernization, helping across the whole software development lifecycle, integrating with tools like Atlassian, Sentry, GitHub Copilot.
So really embedding AI help throughout the developer workflow. And
Yeah.
finally, security agents.
Right. Helping analysts with things like malware analysis, alert triage, speeding up response times. They demoed Google Unified Security, showing how AI could detect data leaks, malicious traffic, and automate responses. Plus, they mention acquiring Wiz to boost multi-cloud security.
Okay, so agents are clearly a huge part of the strategy. It feels like the central theme, almost. The other big themes seem to be about being open and interoperable. What do they mean by that?
Yeah, they really hammer that point home. The idea is Google Cloud isn't trying to be a walled garden. They want to make it easy to connect different clouds and applications, things like secure cross-cloud networking, federated identity. Also, integrating well with other software vendors via their marketplace, enabling partners to build agents, and supporting sovereign clouds for specific regions or regulations.
So playing nice with others, basically.
Yeah.
Giving customers flexibility, avoiding lock-in.
That's the message, yeah. They pointed to customers like Johnson & Johnson, Walmart, using cross-cloud features with BigQuery or AlloDB, and highlighted big partners like Accenture, Deloitte, KPMG are building agents with Google Cloud, contributing to that ecosystem.
And then the sovereign cloud thing that's about data location and control.
Exactly. Offering their AI services in ways that meet specific national or regional data residency rules. Again, about flexibility and meeting diverse customer needs.
Okay, so if we try and wrap this all up, what are the biggest takeaways from Google Cloud Next 2025? It really does feel like AI is just everywhere in their vision.
Absolutely. AI-powered innovation and transformation, that was the clear narrative. I'd say the key points are: 1, the massive infrastructure investment to power it all. 2, the continued rapid advancement of their core AI models, especially Gemini. 3, Vertex AI as the central platform to build and deploy AI. 4, the huge potential they see in AI agents for automation and assistance.
Yeah.
And finally, underpinning all of that, this commitment to being an open, interoperable cloud, giving customers choice.
It's a lot to take in. Definitely paints a picture of a very AI-driven future for business and tech. It really makes you pause and think, doesn't it? How all these advancements, especially these AI agents and the interconnected cloud, how might that start changing your specific job or industry in the next few years?
It really does. It's not abstract anymore. It's moving fast. Definitely something for everyone listening to ponder. How might this reshape your world, your work? It's happening now.
A provocative thought to end on. Thank you so much for tuning into the Quarterly Call. For more episodes, please remember to rate and follow our show. Until next time, stay curious and stay informed.